All right. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. This is another episode of China Light. I have my two new empowerment, inventional entrepreneurs with me today. And we're just gonna be talking about growth mindset. And as we talk about that, of course, I'm going to let them introduce themselves because, they are amazing individuals and together as one.
Thank you.
But at the same time, we're going to be talking about how they grow through their challenges and how they've changed their mindset. Okay, so introduce yourselves, my guys.
I'm KeaKea Hunter. I am an empowerment coach. I'm an author, and I'm the CEO and owner of Hunt Life Co., which is an affirmation t-shirt line.
And I'm Marc Hunter. Most people know me online by Hunt. I'm the owner of mrhuntbubblez, and I'm also the co-owner of Hunt Life Co., just the t-shirt brand.
We forgot to say we are podcast hosts.
Oh, we also have a podcast. We can't forget about the podcast.
That's right. We
Hunt Life
good.
podcast. So yeah, we do a podcast now. We're just doing everything to try to get a buck at this moment, but we're being selective about what we're doing.
Absolutely. Listen, at the end of the day, you gotta put your hands in many pots so that you can be able to see the fruits of your labor, right?
Yes.
So, thank you for coming on. First and foremost, I appreciate the fact that you guys are still like, we have this thing in society, right? Where it's like you have baby mama drama and you have this you may not have the baby mama drama or the baby daddy drama, but you'll have the the daddy that disappeared, or the mama who don't give two craps, or you got the mama who's on drugs and the daddy who's on drugs, or whatever the case is, right? So I just wanted to let y'all know I appreciate seeing Black people stay together and on a good, positive notes, not no negative stuff. So I appreciate y'all. And we'll touch on that a little bit as well. Because I'm sure it deals your mindset has a lot to do with it, right? So tell me how you guys are able to have your own individuality in mindset and still come together as a unit to be able to grow this family, grow your entrepreneur businesses, and all of that good stuff.
Sure.
Okay. Well, thank you again for having us support. So I believe our main challenge is that like we try is to just like be on one accord, like regardless of like if the business is doing good or the business is doing bad, we try to be on one accord. I think that kind of sort of stems a lot from that we kind of grew up with a lot of different dysfunctions. So if we can just try to tackle one thing at a time, and that's just try to be on one accord and try to communicate as best as we can, then we can just do a little bit better.
That's true. I think we pride ourselves on being one with each other and ourselves. I'm really in my head all the time. So he's like my balance and like vice versa, but we don't make moves without each other. Like we're always including each other in like our mindset. Like you said, we grew up with a lot of dysfunction. I grew up an abused kid. So we just had a lot to overcome, and we knew that from the beginning. Like when we got together, we knew each other's traumas. So it was easier for us because we was best friends when we got together.
Got you. All right.
It was
yay for the best friends.
And I think the simple fact of, because we're both like loners, so that's the thing that kind of help us with like keeping our individuality, because like we don't mind just sitting in a room together with like nothing on, just sitting in there talking, or just sitting there in silence and stuff. So that's the kind of sort of just thing that like helps it.
Yeah.
Right. That's dope. Like, not enough people can even sit by themselves without nothing on. So for you guys to be able to sit by yourself, one, and to sit alone together in a room with nothing on, just to talk, we don't have enough of that. And it really does help when you are a couple and you have relationships. You have to know that y'all don't always have to have the noise to keep y'all going. Right?
No, it's a lot of noise. Just in general, we got kids, so it's always noise. And then outside influences. So I enjoy silence. Like anytime anytime I get a moment to just be in silence, I'm taking it. Like I like that. So the fact that we can be in a room and we can sit in silence together is good, because it's still us spending time with each other. It's just like we just generally enjoy each other's presence.
Right.
So silence don't bother us.
Right. And not enough people think like that, because at the end of the day, they think that in order to spend time with each other, you always have to be doing something. You have to go somewhere. You have to be, go on trips. You got to do, like, you always got to be doing something. Take it easy. You know what I mean? Like, take it easy.
Take it easy. I hate that stuff.
You can do stuff in the house. Like, you can play board games. You can watch movies. You can play cards. Like, you can cook together. There's different things that you can do.
Right.
That you can have fun and just like bond over. It's just like exploring all those different options and stuff like that.
That's it.
And like getting out your own comfortability, because that can really be a lot. Because a bunch of us then like grow up with like seeing those type things. So it's like understanding that, I mean, we can do those type things, because that's what can like keep everything going.
And we laugh a lot. Like we laugh a lot. Like everybody in my house is a character, even the kids.
It's gonna be
funny. We laugh all the time. Like happy, sad, like we gonna laugh. So that's the good thing about
it. But they say laughter is a great medicine.
It is.
And if you're not laughing, your life got to be miserable.
It does, for real. Like if you can't take a joke, listen, I'm not gonna be the person for you, because I'm a cut up.
Yes, absolutely. So let me ask you this. I know you're an empowerment coach now. So how do you help people to remind them that it's okay to have a difference in opinion, have a different mindset when they're in a relationship with somebody, whether it be a relationship of your partner that you're spending your life with, or whether it be relationships with anybody else that they're, come across?
I've kind of always been a person, like you said, I've always been a loner. And then I've always, coming from being an abused child, I had to self-soothe a lot. But I always knew, because of my background and my upbringing, I was going to be looked at a certain way. Like I had certain statistics, and I never wanted to be like a statistic. So I would always, like, in the back of my mind, ask myself, like, am I doing the right thing? Which direction am I going? Because younger me was a hothead. Like, I would fight you at a drop of a dime on talk. So like I had to go in, but I've always been my own accountability partner. So even, and I always had a big mouth. I've always been sassy. So I've been told to shut up a lot in life. So for a lot of the time though, people don't understand I'm very quiet in person. I'm really, really quiet. I don't speak unless I'm asked. a lot of the time, but if you ask me, I'm gonna tell you. So it just was being grounded. I always tell people you really have to be grounded in you at the end of the day. And you really have to know yourself. Nobody's going to know your story and understand your story like you. So you have to move in that way, even on your worst days, because it's not always easy. But and listen to your feelings. One thing about me, and he learned very early on, is like, I'm a free bird. You have to let me fly. I'm very in my feelings, and I go with it. I don't question my feelings. I don't question my emotions. I don't question if something made me feel away. Like, I go with that instinct, and I move. You have to trust yourself enough to make your decisions through life.
Right. Yeah, I completely understand that. Not enough people trust their gut and their instinct.
Yeah.
But sometimes, and what I have learned, because that used to be somewhat what I will do, like just fly off at the handle, and just. But for me, what happens is that once I'm able to get it out, you ever heard that phrase? I'm like a soda bottle or a soda pop. With a soda, it will pop, it will fizz up, and then it will quiet down. That's me. Like, if something pisses me off, like, I'm going off. And then slowly come back down once I get all of that out. So no, I get it.
Yeah, I get it. I don't like to anger. I've always been like that, so I think I'm like that too. Once I anger, it's over, and it's hard for me to come down. Though that'd be the part. Like, you gonna really have to give me a second, because I'm not gonna come back down. Because I feel like it takes so much for me to get there. So take me there is just not. I'm dragging us to hell.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the thing. For me, I take a lot. I take a lot, and I take a lot, because that's just what my sign is, who I am as a sign. I'm a bull, right? Oh, okay. And I'm so, when I tell people I'm true to my sign, I'm absolutely true to my sign, right? So a bull takes a lot, and when they've had it, again, that's it. Right? And then once they've seen what they need to see, once they get that out of their system, they come right back down like nothing ain't happened.
Yeah. That's true.
So, I had to grow and learn within myself that sometimes you have to kind of just dial it back, think about what's happening, before you fly off the handle.
Definitely. Is that
and then it's all in how my mindset as I've gotten older, how my mindset has changed. And even getting into entrepreneurship, that has helped a lot as well.
You have to have a different mentality with entrepreneurship.
Right. So has that helped you to kind of dial it back a little bit and just think about it first in your mindset and then react?
Definitely. For me, yeah, like at this point, I'm not going to be in no room that's going to make me act out of character. Like, I don't care if it's a family reunion, if it's a funeral, but I'm not going. If I potentially have somebody that's going to make me act out of character, I'm not even going. Don't worry about it. Because I feel like at this point, I have too much to lose.
Right.
And I've grown a lot, and we've been in business he just made 3 years for the detailing. 3 years
for detailing.
So at this point, I'm like, and this has been a pretty good 3 years to say we are new entrepreneurs and don't have any friends or families that are entrepreneurs to show us how
to do entrepreneurship. Yeah, we're doing pretty good.
So at this point, I'm like, I have to protect what we're trying to build. And that's not allowing myself to get into situations or to have continued relationships that I know that's unhealthy, because now I need to be in a better mental state to be able to struggle with everything I have going on. I'm still feeling mom at the end of the day. Like, and I have to have patience for my kids.
That's right.
I don't have room for people to make me get out of character.
That's right. That's one thing I had said to myself when because of life and because people want to always pull you out of character, you had to, you got to show them a thing or two. Because I was always the quiet girl. So everybody used to take my quietness
for weakness.
So they thought they could jump over me and tell me what to do, what not to do, when not to do it. And, I had to show somebody one time. And in that showing them, I got myself caught up where I end up getting arrested.
That's always how it goes. Yeah. And that's always how it is. It's always the quiet one that blows and then you get in trouble.
Yeah. And after that, I said, I will never, ever allow another individual to ever take me out of character again. No. So what I do now, I sit there and I laugh at the person. Either I laugh or I just be like, I'm leaving. Okay.
Yeah, I'll pay you no mind.
Yeah. That's him. He like, I'm not paying. I'm the walkout queen. I'm leaving. I'm grabbing my bag. I'm gone. I'm not gonna take it. Like
we're not finna do this. No. Yeah, no, sometimes it depends on what the situation is, right? It really does depend on the situation because, again, mindset is everything.
Yes, it is.
And the power of the mind can make or break you.
Yeah. No, it can't.
Absolutely. And if you allow people to change your mind in a negative sense, that will always be your demise. That will always be your demise. Yeah. If you are not willing to deal with the consequences that come behind that, it will always be something you're going to always be fighting with.
Yeah.
Right?
So true.
So as her husband, how do you deal with her? Like, how do you deal with all of that?
I mean, people feel like she's kind of hard to deal with, and some of the time she is, but it's just more so like, I hear her out. I let her do what she do, and then it's like we guide each other through certain situations. If I feel like it's like too just outlandish, then I'm not as scared to like tell her like, bro, we got to reel that back in a little bit. Because the thing about me is my mindset always has been that I'm always gonna like analyze every single thing. So I'm going to think about the positive and the negatives when it comes to it. So if I feel like the negative is going to overweigh the positive, then I'm like, nah,
we're not doing
that. Do that. But if I feel like we got a way that we can do that and it can like work for us, then I'm all for it with it because there's nothing wrong with like her mindset. She's like, she's going to go get it. So it's like, why like cripple her from doing what she's going to do? We're just gonna like enhance it. Like I can help her if she needs help with certain things. So it's like, let me bring my mindset to what you're trying to do, and we can see if we can take that to the next level. Just like you're good at like marketing to a certain extent, and you're good at doing the accounting and stuff. You're way better at doing the accounting stuff. So and scheduling. So you can take your scheduling stuff, and we can add that to my mobile detailing company, and we can take that and we can try to take this to the next level. So it's like a yin and yang thing because I see that you have value in this part, so I can help with that. Now you have value in this part, so you can help me with that. So we can just keep on going.
Keep on going.
Yeah, but it's just like her attitude is just, yeah, she's like, yeah, she's spicy, like, but
she's a firecracker, but you like that.
She's from Louisiana, so it's like that is what it is. It's like that's part of the game. But it's like, I don't worry about that. It's just when it's time to like get stuff done, and when it's like somebody I know that's gonna have my back, I know she got me, and she's gonna be on like the same mindset that I'm on, so we can like both get it for our family. So like that's the main thing.
Right. So I'm gonna change gears just a little bit, just a tad bit. In the entry form, I asked you guys, what is the light? What is your light that shines bright that you want to shine on others?
Oh, child, I don't even remember what I put. But for me, I think I've always had a self-awareness about myself. Everybody around me has always said it. He gets shocked when he's like, I thought you knew. So I'm a very self-aware person, and I think I want people to learn how to trust in their own self-awareness and really understand like how important self-reflection is, and that we really are the keys to our journey. Like, we can have whatever we desire, whatever you're dreaming of, whatever God planted in you, you can really have it. It's not going to be easy to get, but you can do it. Like, I've gotten through a lot for my age. I've been on my own since I was 13. And being that if I can get through it and make it through, you can too. Like, it's up to you. And I want people to be proud in who they are. We were meant to be different. We're not all meant to be the same.
Right.
And you can find beauty in your flaws and in your trauma. Like, there's something in there, and you cannot tell my kids all the time, like, look for the lesson in everything. There's a reason why.
That's it. That's it. And Mr. Hunt.
And I want to shine the light on Black fathers. Even though that like some of us made mistakes, some of us don't really know like what we're doing. It's good that for the ones that's trying, because that's the main thing. As long as we trying to like be there for our little dudes the same way that we wanted our fathers to be there for us. So we're trying to do something positive. So it's like, as long as you trying, bro, like just trying to do it for your child, and like that's what it's about. Cause it's like you got to think about when you was a little kid and you was asking your mama about where your father was at. So you want to put your little dude through the same thing. So I don't want to have the light shined on the dudes that's doing that. I want the light to be shined on the dudes that's doing it, like actually there for their kids, that don't miss baths, that don't miss games, that's there just to be there for just when their son fall off the bike or when he take his first jump shot, just to be there. And that's the main thing it's about, just showing everybody like Black fathers is there, like regardless of what the media and everybody trying to tell us.
Oh, absolutely.
It's Black fathers out there. We there, and we're being strong about it. We show that we there, and it's gonna show in the future when it comes to our boys, because the narrative gonna have to change, because there's gonna be too many of our boys out here that's showing you that that narrative is not the same thing.
Absolutely.
So about the Black fathers.
Yeah, absolutely. And to add to that, Black women, please allow your the Black fathers of your children to be in their life.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether it means that they might not be doing it right at this moment.
Yeah, because
how do you expect them to learn if you don't allow them to do what it needs to be done?
No, that's true. And even like going into before we had kids, because we were together before we had kids, I never knew I would be a wife, but I always knew I wanted kids. I always knew I wanted to be a mom, but I always knew I didn't want to be in a toxic relationship and raise a kid because I was raised in it. So I just was cool with having a cool baby dad, and we co-parent even back then. And so even as a father, knowing his past, I was always okay with him like making mistakes and not getting it right, and just letting him learn, because if he didn't really have anybody to show him, so how, do you, like you said,
how you expect
learn? Like, you get better as you go, and that's even with us as moms. Like, hell, I didn't have a mama to show me how to be a mom. Like, I had to figure out how to be a mom by myself.
Exactly. So and this is what I want y'all to see, y'all. These are a prime example of two young people becoming husband and wife, becoming parents together, and no matter how much they might get it a tad wrong, they are still learning through the process to be able to do the best that they can do with what they have in this moment for their children.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I just really want, you know, people to understand that, especially women, because we have a lot of toxic, you know, behavior with these, hold on, whatever. Sorry, y'all.
No,
and it is, you know, we always have the toxic behavior of women just, I call it abusing. I don't know about y'all, but I call it abusing the men and using their kids as a pawn.
Yeah. No,
and I don't like that.
True. I don't like that. I think I had a conversation a couple months ago with somebody that was like, I can teach my son how to be a man. And I was like, as a woman, you can never teach your son how to be a man. You could teach your son how to love a woman, because we are the first people, we are the first women they ever loved. It's certain things I always understood I cannot teach my kids. And I had a father. My dad was very much so involved. I still have a very good relationship to my dad with my dad to the day. I'm a daddy's girl. So I always knew how important. I learned the game from my daddy. Like, my daddy taught me how to handle dudes. Like, he taught me, like, if this dude playing game on you, what you supposed to do. Like, my daddy taught me. So I always knew how important that was. And like, why would you want that separation? It's something that you would have wanted. So why would you take that away from your child? We're gonna give our kids the world, but you refuse to give your child a father.
That part.
Like,
that part.
Like, that's the first thing you need to be able to give them.
Right. And it's one thing if, you know, the dad walks out of their life, right? But it's a whole nother thing when you, as a woman, you force the child's father out of their life because by the volatile things that you say.
Yeah. And with our generation, that happened a lot. Yeah. Like, a lot of our dads wasn't around. And like, I think I have so much respect for my dad because he could have been one of those, but he was not. My dad stayed with my mom until I was an adult. Like, I was 25 when they separated. And he always was like, I want my family. Like, I want to be around for my daughters. And I always have respect for that because it's a lot of men who's not going to go through nearly the stuff my dad has to go through to be in our lives.
Right, right.
So that's just it's a very few, I think, now who are just out here don't want to be involved with their kids.
Absolutely.
But for our generation, we hold that trauma of not being able to see. A lot of us didn't know our dads until later on in life, and then you come to find out the mama and him had stuff going on, or she got a new man, so that's the new daddy. Like, regardless,
my father disappeared when I was 4.
Right.
I don't know if the man living or dead.
See.
Yeah, we grew up in a generation when the fathers went to the stove.
Exactly. Exactly. And the thing is, for me, my father was never like fully in my life because he wasn't from here. He was from Venezuela. Right. And that's where my mom met him. But the job that he had was one of those jobs where he worked for an American company. So they was always flying him into the US.
Right.
Because he was a beer taster.
Oh.
So he always had to check on the machines, make sure the machines were working and all of that, and taste the beer, make sure it was coming out the way it's supposed to. So he, you know, was always flying into the US, and then he will somehow find his way to New York to find my mother. And then when he did find my mother, of course they had their little rendezvous or whatever the case was.
Yeah.
And here comes me. So he's, you know, he came back and forth for a little while. But then after I was 4, we got a phone call, and that was the end of that. We've never heard from him since. We've never seen him since. Nothing. And I was 4 at the time.
Oh my gosh.
Right? So, did I have, you know, men role models in my life that were potentially the only thing that I knew as a dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he any good, real good? He was a good man as a father, but not as a to be in a relationship with somebody. Right? Same. I could have picked up the phone at any time and tell him I'm in a bind, and he will help me figure it out, or he will bring me whatever I need, right?
Right.
But really and truly, you know, after they split, he'll come back and forth. So what I saw as men in my life throughout my life wasn't really anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I get that. I think once we get to a certain age in life, like I feel you when you say like he was a good father, but maybe not the best spouse. I say that about my dad, because we grew up in domestic violence as well. So I grew up seeing that and being a mediator between my mom and dad a lot growing up, like my entire life pretty much. But my dad was always an awesome father. Never put his hands on me a day in his life. Like my dad is still yells at me. Like that's why I'm so spoiled. He was an awesome father. Maybe not the best spouse all the time, but now that he had a lot of trauma. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He grew up a certain type of way, and I think I was able to see my parents for who they were at a very young age, so I could separate the two, like my place as your child, but also seeing, okay, it's certain characteristics I don't want in my daddy, like, but it's also certain characteristics that he possessed that I need that's familiar from my dad. You know,
correct, right. Yeah. So, you know, how does that shape your mindset? How does it shape your mindset? Like, in the sense of, what did that instill in you to, even though you had your dad in your life, you know, unlike some other people in their life that don't have their dad, like myself, how does that help to shape your mindset?
It helped her with being stable.
Yeah.
That's a main thing that I noticed, that with people that grew up with like a father and a mother in the house together, they're like way more like stable a little bit than people that kind of sort of grew with like a single parent. Because with a single parent, you kind of sort of sometimes you don't really know like if you're gonna be really at this place for how long you're gonna be, or you might have to move somewhere or this or that, versus if it's a mother and a father. Most people that grew up in two-parent households, they kind of sort of had like a stable household.
Yeah.
Right. I got what you're saying.
Grew up with stability versus the other one. So I think that's one of the main things that help her with her mindset. He said the stability. Because you're
Right.
able to see the good side of it, even though that you grew up in something that was like bad, you're still able to see that it's still a possibility of it to happen.
Yeah.
Versus some that just, we don't know if it can happen until we get into it. And now we get into a family and we make it happen. Because a bunch of us didn't see it happening. Like a lot of us didn't grow up with seeing our parents in full relationships for a long extended period of time. So for you seeing someone that's been together for an extended period of time, it helps with what you're trying to do, because it's just teaching them somewhat of a, you can do it.
Like. Yeah. And he used to say that I used to get offended, right? Because we both, like I said, he grew up with a single mom. And while he's speaking from their perspective, because he grew up with just him and his mom and his family. I grew up in a two-parent household and I have a younger sibling. So, but we both had our own traumas, because like I said, we had domestic violence going on. My mom was abusive to me. Like I was in and out the house at an early age. So I used to get offended, but then I also had to understand where he's coming from. Like I didn't experience a lot of the things that he experienced growing up. I was always stable. I stayed in the same house until I left home. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha, right.
Versus him, like, you know, they moved from house to house, and, you know, when they had to. Yeah. So the stableness is the stable, being stable, but it's also has taught me to really see people for who they are. Like we all have flaws. Like I have to look at his background, because coming in and just not having a father, or because people say they didn't have a father, but I don't have a mother. So I still feel that same sense of abandonment.
Right.
It's like I just have a father but not a mother, and I'm a girl. So I'm a woman, so I need my mother a little bit more sometimes than I need my dad. But so I still have that abandonment.
Of course.
Part. But I think it just has helped me be grounded, because my dad is he really is a sweet man, and like he's always taught me to be okay with who I am and created me to be. And he's always been my cheerleader. So even though I saw the bad sides of my dad, I also saw the good, and I was able to really pick what I wanted out of a man. Like I was very picky, and I was always the one that wanted to date her. I didn't believe in love because of what I grew up seeing. And like I said, my dad was an awesome father, not the best spouse. So I didn't believe in love, because my parents was together like 25 years in that dysfunction. They had times where it was beautiful. They really did. They really do. I never don't feel like they didn't love each other. It just wasn't good. So
Got you.
I always took what I wanted and what I did, like what traits I want, what traits I didn't. And like now, like even when he met me, he's like, dang, like you can't tell her nothing, because everything finna come out your. My daddy was a player. Anything finna come out your mouth, I already know. So I'm already got like the guy. I'm acting like you. I'm keeping it short, just like you keeping it short. Like I got you guessing like you got me guessing. Like so exactly how to flip it. But I still had my feminine side, like how now it's like females want to be dudes. I was never that. It was just like I knew how to protect myself, and that barrier just I had to come down off of the I can let him protect me. But that's I always tell people that my husband always made me feel protected.
Yeah.
Anytime I was with him.
It's a what you call a mental mechanism of protection. So I completely get it, because ooh, child, that's good. Like, man, it's so many things that we have to, especially as women, we always have to be on this guard of how to protect ourselves. And you will always see the hard shell before you see the interior. And when you do see that interior side, it's like, oh, it's so nice and squishy, and you know, she's so sweet. They're so sweet. And you know, you said something earlier about Mark. You said something earlier about being raised with a single parent. And I'm right there with you. You know, I've been in a space where I've known a lot of people who were raised as with a single parent. How did that shape your mindset?
I know the main thing. So my stepfather was around to like around, you say 10, 12. And then that's when it was my mother by herself with just me, my brother, and my sister. So, but from then, that's when it kind of sort of started putting me in a mindset of that, like, because I understood that I had a father. I understood that that was my stepfather. Like I always had like a higher understanding of stuff, even at a younger age. Like I didn't really like, I got the little people talk, but it wasn't really like that. I kind of sort of already, like I understood stuff. So it's like you just had to tell me and I understand it. I don't need that whole like trying to hold my hand type stuff. Like if you just gonna like let me know what's going on, I can decipher it for myself and I can understand if I'm gonna deal with it or if I'm not gonna deal with it. Like I've always been like that with my life. So it's like for the simple fact of that I know that I didn't want my two sons to have to not wonder where their father is or not happen to like pick and choose anything. Like it's just you're gonna have your father here. Like know I want to be there for everything. It's not no, I gotta go work, so I can't come to no games. So like, no, I want to be there for everything. Like I work nighttime so I can be able to pick my son up and to be there for when he go to school in the morning, when he get off from school.
Yeah.
Like I made sure that I'm off on Saturdays when I was working so I could go to sports and just different things. Because like I'm gonna do every single thing that I wanted done for me. Because that's what it more so was about. It was just like making like the little dude, like when I was a little man, like happy. So if I make myself happy, then like that's just like making my little dudes happy because they are part of me.
Exactly. Ooh, that was a good one. See, and those are the things that I look at because, and then, it's that type of energy that you have to give not only to yourself, but to your children, right? Because they are going to see that and they're going to mimic that. And not only are they not going to mimic that, when they get older, they're going to know how to deal with their children and their children's children, right?
Yeah.
So, and they're going to pass it down and keep passing it down. So I love the way you guys are raising your children. I love the way you guys are not only staying together for staying together's sake, but staying together in positivity, in harmony with one another.
Yeah.
I really truly do. So, ooh, this was so good. This was so good.
No, I think I always told him I never wanted to stay together for kids.
Yeah.
I told him that, like, I always told him, I was like, I will not. I remember when I had my first baby, we had our first child, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to stay with you just because we have a kid together. Like, and because he said he's always direct, he don't need you to hold, he don't need nobody to hold his hand. Me and him always got along that way because my directness, other people find offensive.
Yeah.
He never found that offensive about me. He was like, okay. Like, you could just say it, and it was just always an understanding.
Yeah.
And he never had to really guess with me. Like, we don't do that with each other. We never really had to guess. So I was always like, like, if we're not gonna do this, because kids gonna get gone and move out, we still need to like who we are at the end of that. Like,
exactly. You gotta like who you guys are individually, and you gotta like who each other is. And be able to love that in yourselves and each other in order to progress. It brings it all back to mindset. 2 more questions and then we're out of here. One question is, what would you give somebody, the listeners, the watchers, some tips on what you guys use to keep y'all mindset going and to keep y'all individuality within the union of a marriage?
So what I try to do is I guess because after COVID and stuff like that, I think that drew us closer together to where we communicate more because of just different things that was going on at that time. So it's like it helped us with our communication. Yeah. So because we do communicate, that's one way that like help us is we communicate. Now a solo way that helps me is that like I'm trying to start back getting into drawing. Like I'm starting to get back into like trying to play tennis and stuff. Just like doing like little things that I personally like to do that's just take my mind away from everything. Like I know if I got a stressful day, I'm gonna hop on my PS5. Like there's just little things that I'm gonna do just to keep myself like grounded, to keep myself going. Cause it's wild out here and it's hard. So in order to just decompress, I gotta either draw something or I'm coloring or I'm just doing different things. It's just like just decompressing.
Right. So the one thing is decompressing, communication.
Yeah, and I think communication was big for us because we're both like, I'm a fire sign. He's a earth sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very earthy, Virgo child. Listen.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Listen. So
10 toes down to the ground.
listen. Don't care. They don't
Oh,
care.
that's me right there. I got it. I understand.
So communication was a big thing for us, and it was more so we knew we were doing it because even when we always say when we went to marriage counseling, getting married, when we went through that, they were like, either y'all are putting up a good front or y'all waiting on each other, because it's like both of y'all are waiting on the other one to leave, right? And y'all won't get it until y'all both decide to leave together. We did not understand that until around COVID time hit, and we were like, that's when we started trying to do the businesses, and then we had a whole lot of family deaths going on, and it was just a lot. And it forced us to have to start communicating together and like really understanding each other, but also do separate work because we were both healing from different situations. And we had to heal from that together and separately. So once we communicated, it was also, like you said, decompressing and always like pushing each other to do things. We always give each other space to be each other. Like that's been since the beginning of our relationship. Like he's always allowed me to be who I am. Like late and all, child. I'm late every day. I'm gonna be late. He allowed me to be late. If I'm out, and I do rarely I don't go out often, but when I do, I'm at like I may come home for 3 in the morning, like, and it's not on purpose. It's just I look at the time I'm having with my friends, and he doesn't get like we push each other to be who we are, and like even him, I'd be like, get a hobby, like do something. Like I really try to be his piece, and I really try to like and I always tell him, don't lose who you are in me, because we still need to have our own lives to come together. Like what we gonna talk about? Right. In each other's face 24/7 doing the same exact things. Like I still want to be able to bring you in my world sometimes, and I want to be able to come into your world and bring those worlds together. So I always, because I'm like, you're a dope human, but like I like you as a person. Like, so I don't want you to lose that in this.
Right. That's so very true.
So it's giving each other the space to be able to be who we really are.
Right, right. So giving each other space, being able to communicate, and being able to, what was the other thing? Decompress.
Have your you thing. Never lose your you thing. Even as a mom, like never, like I want moms to know, because I hear that all the time. I lose myself in being a mom and a wife. Keep your you thing. I don't care if that's going to a park by yourself for 30 minutes once a week or once a month. Keep your you thing. Like my thing was always writing. So he always kept me a journal. He always like would pop up with like a pen or a journal, or he'll ask me about a writing idea I might have said months ago and never did nothing with it. Like it's check and balances. Like we also have to check and balance each other too.
Right. All right. So now let's talk a little bit about y'all businesses.
Okay.
Tell me, what is your businesses about? I know you got several. Let the people know what they all do, how it works, how they could get your services, all of that. Let the people know.
So the easiest is Mr. Hunt Bubblez. Mr. Hunt Bubblez is our mobile detailing services. We come to you. We're a car wash company that comes to your house, your apartments, to your job, to any location. If the people that allow us to come there, we come there and we wash your cars. We wash vehicles, we wash professional vehicles, commercial vehicles, we wash boats. We wash ATVs, anything that needs to be washed, we wash it. And that's the basic thing is Mr. Hunt.
He does the full 9 shampoo, paint corrections, waxes, different type of white waxes. It's a full
service detailing thing, and that's the basic thing that we do. That's the beginning.
Need y'all water neither, because he got all
we bring everything. I have a generator, I have a water tank, I have everything in my van. So when I say we come to you, only thing you got to do is give me your keys so I can be able to clean your car. That's all you got to do.
Make
Right.
Yes.
And where can they find this Mr. Hunt Bubblez?
Across all platforms on Mr. Hunt Bubblez. Google Mr. Hunt Bubblez. Everything is Mr. Hunt Bubblez.
Yep.
All right.
5-star reviews, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
Everything, Mr. Hunt Bubblez.
And where are you located?
Houston, Texas.
All right. So all my Texans, my Houstoners, get with Mr. Hunt Bubblez, please. Because guess what? He will make your car nice and shiny and beautiful.
Right.
We make you shine different.
All right. I love that. Make you shine different. All right. And Miss KeaKea?
All right. I am an author of a children's book, He Was the Man. I am the CEO I'm the CEO and owner of Hunt Life Co., which is an affirmation t-shirt line. And I'm a women empowerment coach. I help women who are dealing with childhood trauma to see life after that and to encourage them to go live their dream and their vision in their way.
All right.
I can be found on Instagram at iamthekeakea, KEA. You can follow us, and we keep forgetting to say we got a podcast.
No, I was gonna say that after you got what you did.
Okay.
Because we was talking about the separate things that we do.
Yeah.
Then at the end, we was gonna say about the stuff we do together.
Yeah. So you can.
I love it.
Then I was on it.
Okay. You got me. And you can find us at Hunt Life Co. on Instagram, I think Facebook, but you can definitely find me at I'm the Key on TikTok and Instagram. Yeah.
TikTok and Instagram is the main thing that you can find us on, because Facebook is not friendly with us.
It's not.
At all. So we are TikTok and Instagram and Google. Right?
5-star reviews.
Trust me, I understand about the Facebook. Right now, I'm having a hard time with Facebook, but whatever.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
And then we also have a podcast, and that's Hunt Life, the podcast, where we pretty much talk about different things that affects our generation, just
relationships,
everything with millennials.
Yeah.
Family, love, like business, just everything. How to break generational curses. We're just trying to be.
Yeah, we're showing you what that means, what that looks like.
How to hunt life.
How to hunt life. It's not perfect. That's how we got our names. Like, we want to show people what hunt life is. It's whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
It really is. You just got to go out and hunt it. You got to go out and get it. Like, so we want to show people, like, it doesn't have to be what they portray in the media about Black people. Like,
absolutely.
We can make it. We can overcome our triumphs. It does not always have to be a sad story. Like, we can learn from our mistakes and grow. And that's why we decided to do the podcast, because we felt like we had a lot to give. Because we have a lot of experience in a lot of different things. And like, we've been together 13 years.
Right.
So, like, we want to be able to give people and other couples a realistic view of like navigating the world as millennials in the world today as a married couple with kids.
Yes, we're not a married couple with a family that wear all white with the all white couches and stuff. Yeah. We're realistic.
That part.
We know kids are loud and they dirty up the house and they do all that. But it's about, how can you still flourish while you're still having a family? Because if we don't see a lot of people doing that, then how everybody else gonna want to do that? So it's about showing that part, because that's really the ones that's making everything move, not the fake ones out here.
Yeah.
We the ones that are really out here making everything go. So it's like, we got to stand up and we got to shine.
That's it. That's it. Again, y'all, I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for letting me shine my light on you guys while you shine a light on the world. Thank you. I appreciate y'all so very, very much. And until next time, y'all.
Thank you for having
me. For another, thank you for tapping in with me for another episode of Shine a Light.